My first task for this morning, oh, someone has their weed whacker going, lovely. My first thing on the to-do list today is to email the back of book blurb for the wedding to my cover designer. I'm so excited. I think I said this in the last video. So excited with how it's turning out, and I seriously can't wait to reveal the cover of the wedding to you guys. It is amazing. Well, friends, I just finished posting my top 7 movies that I wish were real post. And so I got that finished up this morning. I'm excited with how it turned out. I think it's pretty cute. Go to livylimblog.com to go check it out, and I'm gonna go grab some lunch. Hey guys, it is the next day. So yesterday I had some technical difficulties. I wasn't able to finish up my day in the life vlog because I ran out of space on my camera. I also could not transfer the videos that were already on the camera onto my computer because my computer was clogged up. So I had a slight change in schedule when I had to take a bunch of videos off of my computer and transfer them onto my external drive. With all of that being said, it is the next day, and you can consider this a blessing because now you're going to get 2 days in one. So anyway, it all worked out for you. Outfit change, let's keep going. Yesterday I posted a poll on my Instagram account that I wanted to share with you guys. Because if you are not on Instagram but you watch these videos, I would still love to get your feedback. I have a couple questions for you guys. Number 1, are you subscribed to my email updates? And if you're not, why not go subscribe to them right now? I send out bi-weekly updates, and you can find the link for that below. You will also get a free little gift for signing up, the very first episode of Regal Hearts. I also asked you guys, if you are subscribed to my email list, do you actually read the emails that you get or not? And you can be totally honest. And if you don't like reading email updates, do you have any ideas of other ways I can be in touch with you? Lastly, I ask, what do you think about the idea of getting weekly text message updates from me? If that sounds like something you would enjoy, be sure to comment down below and let me know, because I've been playing around with the idea of possibly starting a text club. And just to clarify, that does not mean that I would add you to one massive group text message and send a message out to hundreds of people and then have dozens of people replying. No, we are not going to do that. I have been on way too many chain messages in my life. Group messages can be one of the most annoying things ever. Sorry if you've ever added me to a massive group message, but when you keep getting replies from random people that you don't know, it can be really irritating. So that, my friends, is what we are not going to do. If we decide to move forward with this text club idea, you would only be getting a message from me. You could reply from me if you wanted to, but you would not be getting messages from other people. End of story. On Instagram, I also asked you guys if you had any suggestions, topics, ideas of things you would like to see in future videos. One of you asked, what was the inspiration for your Tales of Tarsurella series and your Regal Hearts series? I think that's a really fun question. So I got the ideas for the Tales of Tarsurella when I was really young. Probably 13, 14, maybe even younger. I'm not sure of the exact moment in life when this idea started formulating. What I do remember is that I was really frustrated with the quality of books that I was finding at my library. I've always had a really difficult time finding stories that I love because I have pretty high standards when it comes to the type of content that I allow in my mind. For me personally, I like to follow the advice of Philippians to meditate on things that are pure, lovely, admirable, praiseworthy, innocent, all of those things that are wonderful and of good report. And so, sadly, there's not a lot of books that follow those guidelines. I've always loved all things royalty, princesses. I've loved Disney movies and castles, of course, ever since I was a little girl. But with that being said, a lot of that type of content can be ridiculously cheesy. I mean, I love Disney, but then when you look at what Hallmark is doing, it can just get a little bit, there's not a lot of depth there sometimes with Hallmark stories. Thankfully, my local library had a really big Christian fiction section, but even in that, I just had trouble finding stories that really resonated with me and things that I wanted to read. Not only was I having a hard time finding books that were captivating to me, but I was also having a challenge finding good quality content to watch. On the weekends, it's so much fun to watch a good movie or a TV show as you just relax and hang out with your family, but sadly these days there are not a lot of good options. So I started writing the Tales of Tarsurella and Regal Hearts with movies and television shows in mind. As you guys know, Regal Hearts is written in a television show format. It's called Season 1. It has 10 episodes, and I allowed this story to play out in my mind just like I was watching a television show. With the Tales of Tarsurella, I've always envisioned these stories as movies. I know sometimes critics can be a little bit critical about the fact that I write in omnipresent. And of course, I've heard the complaints about head hopping, and some people just don't like the fact that there are so many different characters, and one minute we're focused on someone over here, and then the next minute we zoom out and go to a different story. But the reason that I've done that is because I've always envisioned these stories as television shows and movies. And in both television shows and movies, you get a much bigger picture of the big picture. You're able to zoom out and see what's happening in different scenes at different times. And for reading, that might not make sense for some people, and some people really don't like that style, and that is totally okay. I know that my books aren't for everyone, and I didn't write these stories for everyone. If I wanted to write stories with mass market appeal, I would have done something completely different. But I just wrote the stories that I wish that I could have read when I was a young preteen and teenage girl. I think answering this question is kind of funny because I honestly don't remember when I first had the initial idea for either of these stories. And the cool part is that the characters showed up long before the stories did. I've always had characters in my head, and it's funny if you look back at some of my old journal entries, some of the characters are pretty mixed up. Like, I had characters that I didn't know which story I wanted to put them in. Some characters got deleted out of Regal Hearts and got put into the Coronation, and some got deleted out of the Coronation and thrown into completely different stories that you guys know nothing about yet. And some people, had crossovers, and it's just so funny to look back at these old characters and how I kept swapping their names and their personalities and really just mixing and matching until I found the right mesh of where these characters fit and belong. And what's cool is I've known these characters for so long. They've just always been a part of, in my mind, they just kind of show up and they're like, hey, write about me. And so I don't really know, like the specific moment that I first got the idea really about any of this. It's kind of fun. I've been reading this book called Getting Into Character, 7 Secrets a Novelist Can Learn from Actors. And it's really about, it says proven techniques for creating vivid, believable characters. And I find this book very fascinating because this is the total opposite of what happened to me with my characters. Like, I didn't have to create them. They were just already there. It was like almost like they were just given to me from the Lord. And so I think it's fascinating to read what people do to create characters and how you can create characters. And I'm totally looking forward to taking this advice and applying it in the future when the time comes for me to just create brand new characters. But so far, I still have a lot of characters in the back of my mind that still need to be applied to various stories. Another question asked on Instagram was, how do you get into a writing flow? I think that's an awesome question, but I'm going to wait until later in the day to answer it when I'm writing. Alright friends, it is now time to travel out of my bedroom as I take you to a never-before-seen room in our house. Dun dun dun! Here we go, we're leaving the room. And yes, people, I do actually leave my bedroom. I leave my house too, but you don't ever see that.